Hi, my name is Mary Wong, and I'm a registered traditional Chinese medicine practitioner and acupuncturist. Welcome to my live post number 26, and tonight I'm going to be talking to you about my easy peasy super sleepy tips. And this is a follow-up and the second part to my easy peasy super sleepy acupressure points, which I did 2 weeks ago. So I'm hoping that you will be able to gain more benefit by adding this piece to it, which is also very crucial. So the very first thing is that we do want we do want to have good sleep, because it does help our health, overall health, and definitely also for those that are wanting to try to conceive. It's also very beneficial for the health of our cells, right down to our eggs, right down to our sperm. So even in my book, Pathways to Pregnancy, which is backwards to you here, but oops. Anyway, I'm not even sure if we're actually live, but I'm going to hope that it is. Anyway, okay, so the thing about sleep is that it is important, and we need it to be regular, and it's important to all of us, and especially those who have a tendency towards blood sugar issues. That may impact us in a negative way if we don't get a good enough sleep. And so the blood sugar includes insulin levels, and when they're impeded, it can in fact increase weight. So sleeping well is good for your weight and your overall health. But and when it comes to fertility, if we have increased weight and obesity, sometimes it can impact our ability to have regular menstrual cycles. So we do want to keep that in check and not increase the risk of metabolic disturbances, as well as diabetes. So we want to decrease our sugar intake, decrease our caffeine, because that can impact it. All right, so that's just generalized stuff, and I'm going to go into more. But before I do that, I think the one thing that we also need to look at is, certain root causes of sleep issues. So people will come often and say, oh my goodness, I don't sleep very well. But when we look at their lives, there's certainly very important factors that contribute. So for example, those that are experiencing pain and discomfort, that can impede our sleep. Those that are experiencing sweats, like night sweats, that can impede sleep. So really, it's not necessarily about helping the sleep in that realm, but more about the root cause, which is the pain or this over sweating. And or if you have a partner that snores, that is certainly a huge factor. And if you have animals like dogs and cats, if you allow them to sleep on your bed, well, you might want to rethink that if sleep is that important to you. But you have to weigh what works best for you, because for some, they have told me where it's like, no way, I am not going to change my sleep because my habits, because I love my cat or I love my dog and they're going to sleep with me. For me, when we had a cat and I'm a sensitive sleeper, we decided that it was best for us to have the cat sleep outside of our bedroom rather than in our bedroom, and we cuddle otherwise. And so I hope that works for you. But again, everyone's different. Now the other piece in terms of pain is the emotional pain. So one of the rules in our house is never go to sleep angry, because if you're angry, that can certainly impact sleep. So what I say is, kiss and make up before you go to sleep, so that you're not getting riled up and getting angry, and then you're overthinking, and overthinking of course doesn't help sleep. So don't go to bed angry. And if you're just or from work, if you're like getting a little peeved off at work and things are not going well, if you can't address it during the day, then at night, at least maybe write about it, document it, journal it, so that you get it out of your system. And so I would do that. And and for the partner with the loud snoring, then I would say use white noise, use earplugs, however it will work for you. And in some instances, some partners are okay to actually sleep in a separate bedroom to induce better sleep. So now, having that all out of the way, then let's look at some of the practical tips. Okay, so the very first thing, and I'm doing it right out of my book, which is one, going to sleep around the same time every night. So in Chinese medicine, we say beyond 11 o'clock, not the best time, because it's the time of the liver, and the liver can be very active and overactive. So really, ideally, you want to sleep before 11 p.m. to help induce sleep. And the other thing we say about sleep, creating good sleep, is that we need to have a calm spirit. Calm spirit and a calm heart will induce and provide a nice setting for a good sleep. So do that. And the other piece is that you want to wake up around the same time every morning. So otherwise, if you're having very different imbalances in your sleep, it's not going to work so well. And for those that like to nap, I'm a proponent of napping, but there's napping and then there is sleeping. So I don't want you to, if you're not sleeping very well at night and you decide to take a nap, I say don't have like a couple of hours sleep. You can have like a 20-minute, maybe maximum 30-minute cat nap, so that you don't impede the next sleep cycle. Because if you do have that long sleep, 2 hours, even 1 hour, what happens is then you're not sleepy when you're supposed to sleep, and again that will impede that sleep cycle. So then it's just that catch-22. Okay, and in terms of caffeine, most people will say, oh gee, you know, I have caffeine multiple times a day. Well, if you have it too close to bedtime, that's going to impede your sleep. And some things would include even like green tea, Chinese tea, Japanese tea, well, tea in general, and then chocolate bars, chocolate milk, all those things that can have caffeine, Coca-Cola. Hopefully you're not drinking that anyway, because that's not the most healthy for you. But any caffeine 6 hours before can impede your sleep. And some, like myself, I'm even more sensitive to that. So I try not even have caffeine after noon. So even like when it comes to eating dinner out at night for a Chinese restaurant, I will not have Chinese tea at night, so because it can impede sleep. Okay, now in terms of the other thing, of course, is alcohol. So sometimes people use alcohol to relax before bed, and it may in fact help you fall asleep, but it does not induce good sleep overnight, because again, with alcohol, there's the sugar gets affected, the blood sugar gets impacted. So then you'll have it like a spike and then a fall, and then you'll literally wake up in the middle of the night through that. So that's not so fun. So I don't recommend that. And of course, for those that are trying to conceive, then we don't really want you to have alcohol anyway. And in the terms of setting the mood in the bedroom, you definitely want to have a darker, cool environment. So if you can purchase blackout blinds, that would be fantastic, because that'll help again this set up the circadian rhythm. And in the wintertime in Canada, it's going to be dark, but think about the summertime too. Sometimes it gets dark much later, and those that are quite north in the summertime even, you're gonna still see lightness when it's like at 11 o'clock in Calgary or something, right? So you do want to darken your room, and short of that, you can buy those little masks that's comforting for the eyes. Some people like the pressure on the eyes with the eye masks, and they're usually filled with flax seeds and lavender. So you can use that. And otherwise, you know, when you go on the airplane, they give you those face masks that has a band, so you can even turn your head and you don't worry about being exposed to light. So that's always good. So dark, quiet room, and like I said, and if there's no such thing as quiet where you live, then maybe white noise. That is good, or even calming, soothing music. That is always good. wear earplugs, as I say, and also make sure that your bed itself is inviting and comfortable. So pillows, good comforter, and making sure that you're not too hot. Being hot and overheated can impede sleep. So if you are hot, I would not put a fan right by your head, because that impedes our quality sleep. And in Chinese medicine, we also say it's not good to have wind right at the back of your neck. And lastly, some people find a warm, relaxing bath really good. You can chill out, and in more darkness, candlelight, so it quiets the mind, calms your spirit, sets the mood. That is good. So on that note, I would avoid overstimulation with TV, electronic devices, iPads, all those kinds of things that people love to do. And even those backlit ebooks, they're hyperstimulating. So really, that's when the old school books are better, and you use a night light. And for some, just sleeping can, well, depending on the kind of book. If you read a textbook, of course, that might induce sleep. But other books like murder mysteries, that might make you more awake and make you more in the process of overthinking, and that's no good, right? So again, if there is overthinking, or if you have too many things on the go for preparation for the next day, jot them down, have a journal beside your bed. And very good thing, during the day you want to get some good quality sunshine, and that means getting outside, even if it's cold, even exposing your face out in the cold. And then just getting that natural sunlight, even if it's underneath clouds, we'll still get little rays of sunshine through clouds. And that helps, again, our circadian rhythm, sets it up, and fresh air just feels good, and you get oxygenated, and helps you with your circadian rhythm for better sleep. So I hope you find that helpful. If you have any questions, please do so and ask. Some people use melatonin supplements, which I find can be helpful, like 3 milligrams. Some people use even more. Some people way less, so even 1.5 milligrams can help induce sleep. But it is a hormone, so there are some instances where people have negative effect and make them more energized, but others it actually works really well. So those are 3 things. So again, in the end, I would say induce sleep by having your mood be okay. If you're not in a great mood, then write it down or talk it out with your partner or something. Get it out, and setting up the mood in your bedroom. Okay? So have a very great night, and for more, of course, you can also at the end add in those acupressure tips that I provided 2 posts ago. I believe that was live post number 24, so check that out. Check out my other posts, and check out my book, and it does include the sleep bit, Pathways to Pregnancy. You can check my website, marywong.life, and I hope to see you next week, next Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we'll be shopping, because shopping is healing, and this is really for a good cause. Kim Smiley produces this amazing, fabulous jewelry that is affordable, and it's made by disadvantaged women, and they're giving fair, I don't even know the terminology, but they're paid fairly, and some of the proceeds also goes to a good cause as well, so for disadvantaged children. So very cool about that. And on top of that, I'm going to have a live fertility story of success, so that'll be really awesome and inspiring. So I'll see you soon. Have a good night. Bye for now.